I said like not being you is the biggest lie to yourself, I had to recognize what are the things that align with me, and I got more of that space when I did get fired from that job because I was able to just like sit with myself, like, what do you want to create? What do you want to do? And I think that kind of just that was the beginning. Like, like that was literally the beginning for me to accept that I can create more than what I think it is, and I can also be in the existence of myself and not feel like I have to be anything outside. Like, I think really being anything outside of yourself, it feels like a lie. So I'm like, how can I not lie? How can I be my most honest, authentic self? And I feel like that was really just like finding my being and accepting who I am. But I had to find it. It was something like going through the creativity and allowing myself to experience a lot more than what I already done, and then be like, oh, this is more than allowing myself than what I thought was or what I was copying.
Yo. And so as you just told me that, because I've never asked you about your bio before. So now that you just said that, it helps me understand how you were able to help guide me through that chapter, right? I think we all might go through that chapter frequently. Like you go your high school self and your college. So I think that naturally develops. But what I gained from you is a deep sense of knowing what will be the self that you're gonna nurture infinitely, not just in this lifetime, but it's rooted in something that's greater and larger than yourself and more expansive than just your lifetime here. So it's like that's where I was when you re-entered my life was like defining my legacy or my essence. What was I gonna be in this world when I wasn't gonna be in this world no more? You know what I mean? And that was something that I knew what I wanted, but I was challenged in my reality, looking in the mirror every day, like you're not actually embodying that fully. Like there's moments when you shining in it and then you're sharing it and like you're getting the compliments of it, you're getting the criticisms of it. But like where does the truth lie within you as far as how that path is revealing itself and how determined you are to see it through? So thank you for like articulating it that way. I want to ask you too though, like, because I've never really I don't think I've ever really asked you this directly, but how did you like come from that space of like the negative self-talk, or maybe not the negative self lie? Like, how did you come out of the lie? Because I'm starting to notice, I'm like, okay, that's like your gift. You help people like come out of the lie. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the root of it a lot of the times. It's like the truth. Yeah, yeah. So how did like what was that chapter of your life like? I don't think I've ever really like locked in with you and asked like what was I remember you showed me a song one time of the Sheen before the Sheen we know today, but like I just want to hear your interpretation of where you were at that time. Yeah, I never listened to that.
Honestly, I think it was very like giving like high school energy. Like when you in school, I think you're not given that much space to really like become
or learn yourself, learn how you learn.
You just focusing on remembering other people's knowledge, what they're claiming to be knowledge,
right?
And
what they claim to be knowledge, right?
And this is what they claim to be knowledge, and you're just literally remembering and regurgitating it just so you can get a grade. And it's like you kind of lose a sense of like what is a line for you, what do you like, like what do you want to do, and then they start shifting it in high school, like, well, you got to do if you're going to do something, you got to do something that's going to make money. And it's just like now we all looking on the computer with what job.
Yo, you just took that out of my head. Like you don't even be looking for what you like to do. You look for the job and the pay rate.
Literally,
that's literally how they have.
The only money I knew at that time was Monopoly money. Right. So now I'm trying to find out how much of this Monopoly dollars that I was
work. How much I want to make the rest of my life. I'm 18 trying to afford them.
Like what for 5 years? What you do 5 years? You do it 10 years. It was like alive.
Yeah.
But like
that's the focus.
That was the main focus. But then it's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna be alive, then what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm alive. And it's just like I think you shifting, like them just gradually shifting our energy into what's gonna make us money, what's gonna be successful in the eyes of society, essentially kind of just you lose your identity. Yeah. Like you start to make your identity become the lie.
Yeah,
the illusion. Yeah, it's like that's a part of it. So for me, it's like it was a part of me that I was going to school and I looked at what they offered and I was like, the only thing I feel like I would want to learn more of is cooking because I'm thinking about legacy, I'm thinking about longevity. Like I'm gonna cook for myself, I'm gonna cook for my wife, my husband, or whoever. I'm gonna cook for my kids. I'm gonna cook food for everybody because my love friends like show up, right? So it's like that energy kind of made me feel like if I'm open to the experience that I'm going to cultivate longevity wise, then I'm gonna just choose this. But then after a while, it was like I'm gonna just be stuck in this box. Like this is it. Like I'm
Yeah,
just
that's what I was saying, right? The rest of my life like this.
my whole life. I'm just getting out of the school. Then I go to college, so then that I got a scholarship to go in there, and it's like I wanted to take a break. Like I'm like, can I just hold this scholarship that I won? I want a half tuition scholarship. Can I just hold this and wait until I go into the school? They're like, no, you gotta use it right now. So I'm like, okay, now I gotta go 2 more years of school. After this, I'm gonna be free.
Type shit.
But was I free? Because now I'm working, so now I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna just keep working. And then I got to a point where I was like, what am I working for? What am I working towards? Am I saving something? Like I got liabilities to pay for? It's only the liabilities that I'm creating. Okay. So then what am I about to do? Like what like after this it's like, what am I gonna do with this money? And it started to make me feel like I wasn't allowing myself to experience the fullness of life. And at that point I was like, okay, well if I'm gonna use this money for something, I'm gonna use it for something that's going into like legacy, longevity. If it don't have that, if I can't see it for a long term, then I'm just gonna start letting things go. Like, and some of them things kind of fell away before I even decided that I was going to like let them go. I feel like the job just happened. The business that I was running at the time, I was helping people with health and wellness. That just like fell apart. Like it started to go on Zoom because everybody was getting scared with the corona and stuff. So it was just like I'm gonna just focus on myself. And I think honestly that allowed me to have the space to accept that when you really going into yourself, you're able to acknowledge your own truth and not the truth of others that have been placed onto you.